Gonna go refresh stream. Nope.
Your computer is a little loud. Just a little bit.
Yeah, I'm sorry
Okay,
about
we are
that.
live. Cool, it's working.
It should be good. It should be fine anyways.
Okay, so I'm just gonna...
As long as we're talking, it doesn't matter.
I'll roll the intro now.
Alright.
We are live indeed.
Hello everybody and thank you for watching. This is Top Clack. I'm one of your hosts, Man of Interest, joined by my other two hosts who are both here today, Quakemz and Apollatary, and today we are joined by Obotzky. Obotzky, can you tell us a little bit about yourself to those in the community who may not know you?
Sure. So you can call me Ob or Steve, by the way. I'm from Germany and I joined the community about a bit over half a year ago. Should be June when the GMK Carbon was on mass drop, and yeah, then I just went from there. I ordered that set, came in October, and started developing my own ideas, and that turned into SA Oblivion, which I started the interest check on DKEC on October 1st, and then yeah, I continued to develop that idea. I got very good response, and due to the nature of the current signature plastic production pipeline, I switched over to a second project, the recent SA Metro, and that one I started in January, and we launched a group buy today, but that kind of failed, to put it mildly. And yeah, so that's roughly my history. So quite new in the community, and yeah, looking forward to future projects and stuff.
Cool. So we're going to touch more about Metro in just a second, but before we get into that, a little backstory. Steve here and I had a bet revolving around GMK Plum and how many units it would sell. We've talked about it on a couple episodes already, so I'm not going to get too into the details, but the conclusion was I lost the bet, and the loser would be eating an entire plum pie on an episode of Top Clack, and so here I am. I do have an entire plum pie next to me.
Can you show us the plum pie?
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of show. I have a plate with a piece ready to go, but here's what it looks like with a piece cut out of it. So I get a good angle here. So it's a pie. It's actually a galette technically, I think, but for all intents and purposes, it's the same thing. So if you're wondering why I'm eating pie for most or all of the show, that's gonna be why. Because I lost a bet. Anyways, moving on to it does look good. It does smell good too. I'm actually gonna take my first bite right now. I haven't taken a bite yet. So
ooh, here it goes. We're all here to witness Brian's first bite of this.
You guys know that Quakemz upholds bets. Okay, it's pretty good. The crust came out really well.
That's good.
That's what I was a little worried about. We're good.
I'm slightly jealous. I've never eaten American style pie.
Well, technically this is a galette, which I think is French.
Oh.
But
okay.
I mean, it's basically the same thing, just without like a lattice crust on top.
I think that adds a lot, though.
Anyways, moving on to Metro.
Okay.
So tell us about how Metro started, how you came up with that idea, and just like the whole project you've done for it.
Yeah. So the idea came about in January. I was chatting on the Key Chatter Slack with a couple of folks. I think the topic was it touched a little bit the topic of colorways and styles, like how to what extent can you just copy an existing set and create something new from it. And the question was, like, for example, the 1976 is very famous for its striping of the colors, and a couple other sets have tried to emulate that. So, for example, the sadly failed 1983, I think it was at the time, and that got me thinking, in what way can you really change how you put colors striped on a keyboard? I mean, you don't really have many options. You can do a horizontal stripe, like a gradient, and yeah, then it's just the diagonal ones. And so in my mind, I was trying to paint what other ways there might be, and then it just was like the idea jumped to train tracks going across the keyboard, and then it just evolved from there. Initially, I like the first concept. You can dig it out somewhere on GeekHack. It was just the base key colors being in the track colors going across the keyboard, but that looked kind of lame. It, like LSD called it a WASD set, something you would like do in their key creator, or this, yeah, where you can design your own key sets online. So I tried to improve on the idea and like to really let it shine, the theme of tracks having going across the keyboard. And so I sat down in Photoshop, drew up the lines as a 2D asset, and then projected that onto the 3D keyboard in my rendering software. And yeah, that resulted in an early version of Metro, which I then refined over the time. And it got to master up quite quick, because this, like in February we had GMK Plum, next month we have GMK Yuri, and so the March slot was open for something new, and the PBT die sub stuff in SA version is quite recent, and so Jambo wanted to try that out, if that works out for us, and asked me to come up with a design, and I already had this brewing, and so we arranged it to be the drop for March. So yeah, just across a time span of like 2 months, I developed it from a very basic idea of color stripes to gradients, to what you've seen in the past couple of days on Mastrop and the Reddit forums. Yeah. Initially, I actually emailed Melissa from Signature Plastics about it, because they frequently run a set of the month from community designs, and but when Janbo approached me for the March slot on Mastrop, I then moved that project over to them in hopes of having better exposure, because I was aware that it was quite niche, and so I wanted to make sure that it would sell, which then sadly did not turn out to be happening. But as we have discussed in the comment section of the Metro set, it was mainly the price that was kind of unexpected.
So let's talk about that for a second. Metro is obviously a very unique set, something we've never really seen before, and I actually read through a lot of the comment section on like some of the Reddit posts you've made and some of the comment section on Mastrop, and it seems like really split. A lot of people really like this idea, and a lot of people don't. I think either way, it's one of those things where it's a good set in the sense that it pushes the boundaries of what key sets can be like, and it's innovation for the sake of innovation, if nothing else, which is a really good thing in this community, I think. So I think people learned a little bit from this set, but I also want to talk about like the pricing in general. So I don't think there's really any argument here. It was pretty expensive.
Yeah. $140
for the base. Yeah, the base set in particular was pretty darn expensive. Is there a reason why that was more expensive than any other signature plastics set in the past?
Well, there's not much reference in this category, because the only other dye-sublimated SA sets that are in existence currently are SA IceCap and SA Industrial, of which both are produced from signature plastics directly. They run them to stock, so you don't have the vendor markup on that, although of course you would purchase them at a lower price than signature plastic would put them in their stores, because like the whole stocking investment risk stuff. So like, I guess if you were to buy a bulk of IceCap, you would not be paying $110 per set like in their store. And yeah, but even though still we ended up with quite a high markup, I kind of also imagine that one factor could be that maybe that Melissa calculated a higher rate of failed keys because of the size of the artwork. Like there could be more keys being sorted out, and so that could have maybe jumped the price a bit, because it comes very close to the borders of the touch surface. And although we did run a test print and it came out totally fine, but yeah, I'm not quite sure. We will try to investigate that and how we could minimize those factors, maybe in a future attempt. And yeah, but in general,
I didn't actually think about the failure rate when you do that kind of dye subbing, that artwork. I mean, it's not like you're just dye subbing a small legend onto a cap. Like you're actually putting like a serious picture on a lot of these caps. And I think that actually makes a lot of sense if signature plastics were to add cost to that because of how many they would have to, basically throw away.
Just a theory. I mean, I don't know their machinery. Maybe it's very precise in that regard, and the failure rate would be quite low. It's just a theory. On another hand, though, about 55 out of the 118 keys, so almost half of the base kit, remained blank, even with the artwork. That was also something I kind of saw coming. That would be that people might complain about that. Like, why should I pay for half a printed set, but at a full price, disregarding that it went, like, even if it was something like $110 or $100, even then people would feel like they would be paying for half what they usually get. And that was also something people were displeased with.
Yeah, makes sense. So have there been any kind of talks yet about how Metro might proceed, or is that just like kind of a failed project, or are we actually going to progress forward with this in some level?
I'm not going to totally scratch the idea. I think it's I've learned a lot from the past couple of weeks from this project, and I think we can improve on some aspects. For example, extending the artwork to the blank keys to make it worth more, and and then we could obviously explore other manufacturers and profiles, such as, just for example, XDA from China would be a possibility to get the price down, because yeah, I think the general interest was high enough for it to succeed if it was not for the high price. Like if it was $90, $99, I think it could have succeeded. Yeah.
Yeah, at a $100 base kit, I think that would have actually been pretty good. What was the price for the ortholinear set?
$70, I think, or 80. 70 or 80. I'm not quite sure anymore. And the Ergodox was 105.
Okay. So actually I thought the ortho kit was actually not that bad of a value. $80 is maybe a little on the high side. What was 70 the lowest drop point, or was 80 the lowest drop point?
I think 80 and then 75.
Okay, so 75 is not terrible to outfit like something like a Planck. I personally thought that Metro looked best on an ortholinear layout. I've said that in the past, but
that seems to be the general opinion on that.
So yeah, I mean, I personally would like to see this set not scrapped. I think the potential is there, but obviously maybe a different choice in manufacturer, or back to the drawing board on somehow getting the price down. Because obviously most people are going to be buying that base set. They're not really going to be, buying the ortholinear or orthodox sets as much.
Yeah, probably. I mean, we also had a lower MOQ for the Ergodox and Ortho. Those were just 50 each, while the base kit was 200.
Yeah. Okay. Update. I just finished a quarter of the pie, so I'm on the way.
How is it?
It's good. I'm still going strong. I can definitely get through another.
Do you need some emotional support?
I don't think so. Maybe.
I actually.
Are you eating pie too?
Yes. I wanted to actually find out if I could uphold my end of the bargain had I lost, because of the plums not being available in this season, and so I did bake a pie too. Well, a cake actually. I'm not a pie guy. I've never eaten the American. What did you call it? The gelée?
This one is called a galette.
Galette. I only know German razor brand called Galette.
This is too fancy.
Wait, how did you get a pie? I kind of missed it. What did Quake just pass the pie to you?
Yes.
Or
yes.
Oh my god, this is...
Welcome to the future.
Telepresent, wow.
This is way beyond telepresence. Anyways.
I'm just posting a Quack link on my Facebook for a second and you get a pie, wow.
Let's talk about a set that's looking a lot more promising. Your Oblivion set.
Mm-hmm.
You want to talk about? You said you started that in
October 1st.
And you've only been in the community for a little over half a year. You said, right?
Yeah, I mean at the point like.
So Oblivion came in
at the point, yeah.
Oblivion came pretty early in your MK career, so you've been designing key sets since pretty early, which is pretty unique. Most of the people that design key sets in this community, at least the ones that actually succeed, have been in the community for a while.
Mm-hmm. So in general, I would describe myself as a creative person, and so when I joined the community back in summer last year, one of the first things I got really interested in was keycaps, custom keycaps. I explored what's already been done. Like I went on the key puller database and just went through all the sets, and then I kind of just wanted to make one myself, and I thought about what theme or set I could do for a couple weeks or so, I think, and I just tried out different ideas, and then just one day while coding, my mind just jumped from. Well, obviously the main inspiration or like a huge reference for the set is Penumbra, and so I thought, how could Penumbra look if we used a different color scheme, a code coloring scheme? And I'm using the Oblivion code coloring scheme myself, a huge fan of it, and so I opened up Photoshop and created a what you see today in a very basic shape. Yeah, and then I posted that to GeekHack for the interest check, and then it went on and on to what we have today. So yeah, it was a very short time frame from joining the community to creating Oblivion.
Yeah, that's cool though. I mean, the fact that you're passionate enough to actually start that and active enough to follow through with it. It's still an IC phase, or do you actually have a slot reserved?
Well, interest check is pretty much done. Like I got in contact with Massdrop in, I think, November. I shot Janbo an email quite early, like a month after the IC started, and he then suggested I should put up a poll on Massdrop, on the community side of Massdrop, and then like a month later I poked him again about it, and he was very pleased with the success of the poll. And then in January, I think it was, I got the confirmation that we will be running the set via Massdrop. And yeah, so it's not in an interest check phase anymore. That's been done a long time ago. It's just currently waiting for when we can start the group buy and when it can be produced. Because initially, I think, I guess I can tell that secret now. We wanted to launch it this month initially, but that was before the SAQ piled up and got delayed. So dropping it now didn't seem like a very smart move. The community would be rather could be rather upset that we would push such a huge set, even though the pipeline is so full. And yeah, so we replaced that with Metro and moved Oblivion to a bit later this year. I think currently the estimate would be the third quarter of this year, because the next set would be SA Carbon Round 2. This is going to happen in summer. Tomberry has confirmed that multiple times on Reddit and such. And I think...
Wait, he's confirmed that it will arrive on Massdrop at that time, or it'll actually be produced by Signature Plastics at that time?
It will arrive on Massdrop for pre-order.
So obviously then we'll have to wait a lot of months after that to actually get the set. So we're actually looking at probably a 2018 Oblivion release then.
Production and shipping, yes, would be if we were to do the drop in the third quarter, and Signature Plastic won't take on huge orders from their own customers in that time, then we would currently be looking at a first quarter 2018 delivery for the set, yes.
Gotcha.
But obviously things can change. We've seen that recently, so it's like circle it in your calendar, but don't make a hard cross. Yeah. So,
sorry, my mouth is full.
How's that pie? we can tell.
Still pretty good. I'm almost done with the second quarter.
Nice.
Oh, you're actually pretty fast.
Yeah, he's almost halfway done.
I'm not full yet either, so we're still going strong here. Anyways, Huey, take us to some news.
Yeah, we got some news for y'all. GMK Muted. It's a set that we did talk about a little while back. It's being run by Jay Chan at Clack. I'm gonna link posted in chat.
Oh, I can do that.
Wait, GMK Penumbra or okay.
GMK Muted. Base set 125, which is nice and simple, and then everyone, of course, you can't get this set. It's not worth getting this set if you don't also get like the modifiers, in my opinion.
Well, unless
They're 20
unless
and
they're
25
Quake.
respectively.
I would get this set without the accents. I'm a pretty boring person though.
I know,
so.
right? But you
It
should
kind
get
of
the
looks like
accents anyways, because they're amazing.
like a dice object.
I'm using 9009 right now with no accents. No accents at all.
So this base set, basically.
Muted has a darker gray on the mods, but yeah, it is quite similar. Anyone that doesn't want to spend several $100s trying to find 9009, even if you can find it, Muted is obviously an extremely good alternative.
Yeah.
Oh,
And you
but
do have your
accent
choice.
is pretty expensive.
A little bit, yeah. I mean, it's not terrible. I wouldn't say it's terrible. But
I'm just wondering if it would have been cheaper to do it like hyperfuse style, like just put everything in one set, have it slightly more expensive. Actually, it's not slightly more; it's like 200 then for a set. It's pretty much. Yeah. Okay. Never mind. That's too expensive.
Well, I'll be getting GMK Muted. That's I've been waiting for. I'm happy.
I mean, the bottom line is you get the base kit for $125,
it's a
which
great
is
base kit.
very
it's a
very
good
reasonable
price.
when it comes with a lot of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
J-Chan sets have so far for GMK have come with a lot of good compatibility for the price. So
And
seeing that again, it's good.
GMK is just great quality. Just sorry about that.
You better be, damn it.
Rah.
Just kidding.
Okay, but yeah, that's it for news for GMK Muted. Go check that out if you
This
have a
is-
chance. It ends.
This is the week of key sets. Holy
It
crap!
ends when it ends. March 20th is that date. Moving on, we have some more super exciting news.
Can I put a quick plug here?
Yes, absolutely.
For the GMK Burgundy, if you wouldn't mind sharing that one. That's currently also in a group buy stage, and it needs a little bit of help. I can link you.
They already reached 100.
They did?
Maybe I misread. So maybe I mistook it for a different group buy.
They are at 64 out of 100 needed.
64.
So I posted the link in Twitch chat. They have a limit of 150 orders, and the set will be pushed through when they reach 100. So the group buy runner or another entity is apparently buying out the rest if we reach 100. And yeah, I personally very much like the set. I ordered one, and I hope it gets made. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
I'm afraid that it's going to turn to bland poopy red when it comes out.
Maybe.
It is going to what?
I'm afraid that it's going to, like, when it comes out, the red is going to be very kind of like washed out. I'm just wondering how it's going to work out.
I mean, it's based on the default colors GMK offers, and
Oh, they have a decent burgundy color. Yeah.
Yeah,
Based off that,
I think so too.
I want to see like a better render.
I think there was one posted just now.
Yeah, at the
But I'm
bottom,
not-
there's a render on a duck viper.
Yeah, though it looks quite dark there.
That's pretty good, actually.
Yeah, looks decent.
Uh,
render.
Alright, I see what you're talking about. Okay, never mind. I take it back.
Ah,
It's
you
okay.
got coloring.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bektur's fancy. He's living that keycap designer life. He's the coloring
yeah,
and
you
everything.
I have the coloring coming in as well.
Oh, nice. Yeah, they're pretty cool. I wish Signature Plastics didn't sell their color chips for like, I don't know, like a $2,000 or whatever it is. The price was
Yeah.
outrageous. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Wait, really?
well, I think it was like $80 or $100 for like a bunch of color chips, and I was like, without shipping, so like it costed like a full-on keycap set when it came to shipping. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a little weird.
I have I bought like 25 color chips
Yeah.
for evaluating for Oblivion, and they cost me about $80 to get in total. So
Yeah.
that's definitely something I feel like they need to improve, because back in the day, like a couple years ago, you could just buy all the entire ADS coloring for like $30. And that's like 100 chips or more. And the same for the PBT coloring, that was also like $30. So having them now priced at $2 per color chip is quite a hefty price. But I felt like I just have to do it to ensure that the set comes out great. Because if you like consider how many people will end up buying it, you don't want to disappoint them just because because you wanted to save on $80. I mean, I can see how some designers can't afford it, but yeah, I did.
Bektur, were you saying something?
Oh, disclaimer that says that the colors are not accurate.
Oh, okay.
Ah.
Yeah. Yeah, like they're saying that the colors may vary. I'm like, why the hell are you selling me these chips then? Like, if I don't know what kind of color I'm going to get in the end.
Yeah, I think that's one thing that like happened on the round 2 for 1976. That the colors can vary between batches. So if you have a red color code produced now and order it again in 2 years, then it might not come out exactly the same. There are somewhere some comparison pictures. Maybe someone in the chat can dig it up for the 1976. A comparison of the, I think it's the deep orange, the OBC color code. There's a comparison of the two keys between the two runs, and they do look quite different when put side by side. And yeah, that's something to keep in mind. Although I did ask Melissa about that, what color variation to expect, and she did say that currently all the chips in stock, they still have the plastic for it. So currently you would still get what you see in the color chip. Mm-hmm. But who knows when that stock will be replaced?
I'm just kind of expecting that worst case you order a set like in 1976 and you get it and just everything is pink. It's like if you've washed your clothes with something red in the washing machine and everything gets pink. I would love to see that. I don't know.
Yeah, that would be quite horrible.
Something like totally random.
Or like, yeah, we I guess we could touch the subject of the Delvin sets that recently arrived, the Planck sets. There was quite a color issue on those, if you remember them. And
the ones who turned out to be slightly different colors, and they said
yes, slightly. I mean, they ran a deep green tone, like the atomic set, and it came out jukebox green. So that was quite a difference. And do we know at this point in what step the mistake was done. Like if the store that sold them, if they ordered the wrong color codes, or if the manufacturer just fudged up. I'm not quite sure if that's ever been revealed where that went wrong. But that's
I'm
like
not sure. Yeah.
I mean, if you were waiting 1.5 years for your set to arrive, and then the gray color, okay, I guess the black and white tones can hardly be totally off, but like the purple or green, if it just turns out completely different than you imagined, it could be quite a disappointment.
I'm looking at the photos right now, and the colors are really poopy, or at least like if I was ordering something more vibrant, I would be pissed off. So yeah, I heard about it, but I didn't check the picture before.
Bektur, I wish you could follow me around and point to things and tell me they're poopy, like all day.
I was just thinking about that.
Sorry, I just like that word.
So
Bektur,
Mr. Poopy Butthole.
How's that painting, Bektur? It's poopy. How's that food you just had? It's poopy.
How's the plan pie?
Oh man, I'm
It's
slowing down. I'm about halfway done with piece number 3 of 4.
You got this. It's just a plum pie.
It's like the 3 pounds of plums and like the sticks of butter are starting to catch up to me.
Yeah.
How much butter is in there?
How much butter is in this?
A
A lot. I mean, it's American, so
Enough to feed a small African family for like a month.
in dough, and then there is 3 tablespoons that I intersperse with all the plums.
3 tablespoons? It's a lot.
No, it's 3 tablespoons just like for the topping.
What?
The actual crust has a stick and a half, so almost 2 sticks of butter in this entire.
Wow.
How does that translate to metric units?
Sticks of butter.
A lot of butter.
Well, butter.
Oh,
Okay.
it's like, I don't know.
Are sticks of butter universal? No. they're
Yeah,
not.
No.
Stick of butter-
Well, it
I-
depends
No,
kind of.
that would
structure
make
of
too much sense.
Well, there's about 16 tablespoons of butter, if you're familiar
A
with a
tablespoon means nothing to him.
Why would you ever count amounts of butter in tablespoons?
I was trying to get it. I wouldn't. I'm just saying. I was trying to get it to you, like to you to understand it a bit better. But I guess
Okay.
How
I
about
didn't. I
cubic
wasn't sure if
meters?
it was that.
Cubic meters.
I have
sure.
no idea how much cubic meters.
Metric tons, maybe?
Yeah.
He doesn't do pounds either.
Actually, there is a difference between a ton and a metric ton. I didn't know. I thought it was a joke, but
There's about half of a pound of butter.
Oh.
How much?
Okay.
0.22 kilograms, apparently.
That's
Whoa.
quite a lot. There's a total of 100 grams in my cake. So that's quite
Brian,
a big
there's a lot of butter you got, Brian, to eat tonight.
Yeah. Is that
Yes.
two? Is there 100? Wait. How many milligrams are in a kilogram? I'm too American for this.
Wait, how many grams in a
It's
kilogram?
okay, Brian.
Come on,
It lubricates your
milligrams.
arteries. That's how it works, right?
it's 1,024 grams in a kilogram.
Basically, I'm gonna die because there's a lot of butter in here.
In this episode. of
Anyways,
Clack.
let's actually move on to some news.
Yeah, I got some more news. I got some more.
We trailed off way
News.
too hard there, and we still have quite a few things to talk about. This is the week of key sets.
Tai
bro.
Hao. They have more key sets now as well. In fact, they have 2 more kinds of key sets. They have both carbon and pulse clones, which you can both get on mechanicalkeyboards.com.
They
So
had
a
a
couple-
hyperfuse clone.
Did they?
Yeah,
Oh,
I bought
okay.
it, and it was poopy, as you would expect.
It was poopy.
Poopy.
So the interesting thing about the carbon and pulse clones is that they actually call the carbon clone carbon, but they call the pulse clone Starry Night. I thought that was kind of interesting. So how do we feel in general? How do people feel in general about Tai Hao using these community design colorways? Is this like the same level of like, oh my god, you stole my colorway, as everything else, or is it different because Tai Hao?
So the general sense I've got from fellow designers was when people buy a copy of the set from WASD, they are generally totally fine with that. I'm not sure about the manufacturer running the sets. I mean, there's also a SA Carbon clone that popped up on Reddit a few hours ago. It's just a plank kit in the carbon colors, and Tombury seems pretty... he doesn't seem upset, so he's just like, whatever, Carbon Round 2 is going to happen in summer, so there's not really a point in getting that plank anyways. But yeah, I think not many are really totally upset with straight copies. I mean,
that's kind of how I felt about it too. But I mean, think about it this way: when you see like a WASD clone set, it's because someone actually went in and like designed it that way so they could get it for themselves. It's not actually being distributed by the manufacturer as a carbon set, you know. Whereas this Tai Hao carbon set is exactly supposed to be that. I know the colors aren't exactly the same, but the idea is still it's a carbon set.
I mean, another factor is also the quality of the set. Like, if someone made a super cheap ripoff using inferior keycaps, then they're also not touching like your product, because yours remains at higher value. They are not devaluating your creation.
That's a really good point here too, because as someone in chat pointed out, they're not even competing in the same space.
Yeah.
You know,
like if you look at like the current Mac market prices for SA Carbon are like $300 for full size or so, roughly. And yeah, if you can get cheap version for $40, then that's not affecting the SA version at all. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. So I think, regardless of whether this is a case of stealing or not, I think it's still good that people in the community can get colorways they might want for a price that isn't really, really outrageous. A lot of people don't have $200, $300 to spend on a key set. You know, they just want to put a key set that they like the colors of on their $60 Quickfire Rapid or whatever. So I think it's cool that they'll actually be able to do that. Tai Hao, obviously not the greatest thing ever, but it's a $40 double shot ABS in colorways that are popular. So,
I mean, speaking for myself, for example, in for Oblivion, currently it would in general I would be okay with it, but not right now, because Oblivion is still to be produced. So it would be kind of lame if there's a total, a knockoff of it already appearing. That would kind of suck.
Here, Carbon and Pulse have already been out. Those colorways have existed for years now.
Yep. Yeah, so. But once the SA Oblivion exists, then I'm pretty sure I wouldn't care if Tai Hao did it.
I think I would be kind of proud of myself that I created a colorway so popular that it was being replicated. It was being replicated for budget users to where they could actually
absolutely. I do agree.
I think that's cool.
I mean, another thing that could be cool would be if they approach the designers and got their blessings of sorts. Maybe that's something they could do in the future.
That would be ideal. I don't see that actually happening for some reason, but that would be ideal.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. If you're looking for a cheap set of Carbon or what is Pulse, basically, it's $39 shipped from MK.com. So hard to argue with that price, I guess.
It's kind of like buying a domain name for your website. If you cannot buy it in the domain you want, you can just find it cheaper from some other countries, same as Tai Hao sets. Okay, the joke took too long. Sorry.
Move on to DSA Seafoam. There's an interest check running here. There's actual render now, and it looks like it was received pretty well. I think it's a pretty nice looking set. I think it's kind of boring, which for me is a good thing.
It's Brian kind of boring.
It's a my kind of set.
Like,
it's from the guy that did Borealis, right?
I don't know, actually. That's a good question.
Yeah, it says so in his flare on Reddit.
Oh, okay. I don't like Borealis, though. But I do like this. What do you guys think?
I think it looks better in person.
Why is every set is so kind of like washed out? Like seriously, it's not vibrant.
It's hard to do renders.
It's the Seafoam is PBT dicer, so unless he uses like dark gray or black legends, he has to go with lighter colors, I guess. I'm not quite sure what the limits are. Like at what point, like in general, you have to dice up with a darker color onto a lighter key, but how much of a difference there has to be, I'm not quite sure what the limit is. So that could be a factor. That he still has quite bright legends, and yeah, it's like blue tones for the alphas, so he can't really go with deep colors on the base keys.
Yeah, I think it's cool that a PBT or a DSA set might be coming out soon, because we've been swamped with SA and GMK lately. So
especially GMK, I feel there's been a
don't get me wrong. I prefer GMK over everything, but I would still like to see more DSA sets, especially if it means it's going to be hitting the market way, way, way sooner than an SA set, for instance, since the backlog is just so ridiculously full right now.
Yeah.
So it'd be nice to see some different profiles hitting the market.
I mean, the only other DSA group buy currently running, I think, would be Light Cycle. I think that's the only one. While for GMK, there are like 3 or 4. Yeah.
Yeah, there are a lot. Yeah, I could think of at least 3 off the top of my head.
There's Burgundy, the
Plum. There's
Muted. No, Plum wrapped up.
Plum. Yeah. Oh, okay, that's true. Yeah. Muted. There's Coniferous.
Coniferous wrapped up.
Yep.
Oh, that's right.
But Year of the
Well, I mean, they're
Monkey
still in queue. They have yet to be produced. They have yet to be produced by GMK. Okay. Thus, they will take time.
Then you can add like 5 more.
Yeah, you can add like a dozen more then.
Yeah. Honeywell, Terminal.
Because they all add to the time that a new set would take to come out.
True.
Since they are actually in queue. Yeah. I wonder if we're going to be seeing more DSA, more XDA, more Chinese SA.
Chinese now. SA. What we'll be seeing.
Speaking of Chinese SA, let's talk about
Chinese SA.
Let's talk about Originative's new
Chinese SA.
Oh, that's what it is. So Originative, just yesterday, I think, put this link out there, and it's Chinese SA. So apparently they will be stocking it. I think it's some kind of like collaboration thing going on. They dubbed it MAXkeys High Pro. Not really sure, but it looks like it's just MAXkeys. that we've been seeing lately.
ModKey is mod is just like their like in-house
Their-
branding.
Their brand, yeah, exactly. So they're going to stock these MAXkeys, and they're going to be calling them ModKeys. So there's that. It looks like at first they will be stocking a white on black set, a full white on black set, and there will also be a blue on white / white on blue set, which is very reminiscent of Raindrop, if that's your thing.
Base
The
set,
compatible
104 keys, standard, $75. So, I mean, but it also does come with the 1.5U controls, Alt 7U spacebar. So you got that covered.
See, I think this is a little misleading. So under the keycap section, it says row 3, 1.5 control, 1.5 alt, 7U spacebar. Does that mean it comes with one each of those, or do you actually get both?
I'd assume you'd get both controls and both alts. Otherwise,
I would hope so.
Yeah.
It also
comes
with. It also says it comes with a 1.75 shift, but it doesn't say anything about a 1U row 4 FN key. So I think the compatibility is going to be a little bit lacking here for some of the more custom layouts. Like, I don't think you can do an HHKB off of this.
Yeah, that's also due to the limited availability of key sizes. I think they don't have all those that you see for signature plastics. There are a couple missing, so you have limited compatibility.
Yeah, so their MAXkeys are using the older molds from Signature Plastics.
Yeah.
And those molds existed in a time where doing an HHKB layout on an MX was a lot less popular, less of a thing. So they didn't have molds for it at the time. That's what I'm going to guess. And obviously now they do, but these older molds do not accompany that. But
I think J-Chan should be able to answer the question better.
Oh,
but I'm not quite sure if he has
yeah.
an actual list.
Yeah. Anyways, for what you get, $75 seems pretty good.
seems fair.
Yeah, seems fair.
Also, from a designer perspective, one downside of the Chinese manufacturer is currently that they don't offer custom legends. You only have the basic stuff. So, for example, people have suggested moving Oblivion to something like MAXkeys, but it's not actually doable because I have a total of 37 custom legends, or like non-standard legends. Some of those might actually be already in the library of Signature Plastics, but yeah, 37 non-standard legends in the set. So I would have to scale it down a lot. Like the whole Git theme would not work with a Chinese manufacturer. Disregarding the fact that some key sizes are missing, that would also cut it down. So yeah, we could have a cheap version, but by far not what I envision what Oblivion can be. And yeah, I'm definitely going to stick with Signature Plastics on that one.
Yeah, that's fair. Bottom line is you get some keys and it's $75 and it's relatively compatible for anything remotely standard. So that's cool for people looking for SA on a budget.
Yeah, it's also nice for trying out the profile without having to wait half a year for your key set to arrive or buying one very expensively on Mac Market. Like currently the only viable option you have is the Philco SA set, which is still in stock in some stores. Like in Europe you can get it on the keyboard company from England, and I think mechanicalkeyboards.com has some as well in stock, and it's like $50 or $60, which is quite cheap. But then there's also the stabilizers that are glued in. But it's a viable. Yeah, they glued the stabilizers in, and So you either have to pull them out or just use a Philco board. But if that's not a problem for you, then that's a very cheap option for trying out SA. It's semi-sculpted, like 223333, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I've had people tell me that these MAXkeys ABS caps they don't feel the same as like an SA cap, a normal like signature plastic SA cap. Apparently, it's not quite as slick. It's more of like a matte textured kind of finish, which could be more or less up your alley depending on who you are. So just something to keep in mind. I'd like to try a set, but I don't know if I want to.
Yeah, I'm the same. I'd love to try one. I
$75
don't
to try
think
one.
I'd care to own any.
Yeah. Anyways,
Speaking of... No, just kidding.
speaking of keyboard stuff, our friend GZ Prime has opened up a little bit of a store where he is doing shirt designs. And this was posted on both Mech Market and RMK. Honestly, it didn't really get that much attention. People seem to be pretty back and forth on how they felt about it. But
The Weebs on Keys.
Weebs on Keys.
I actually I like all of them, honestly. A lot of people were saying that there wasn't enough thought into the designs, but yeah. At the same time, I like that because I don't like overly designed stuff. So if that's your thing, cool. If it's not, cool. Whatever. But if you want some of those shirts, check them out. The prices are pretty reasonable. You can get all three for $50.
I'll probably get their shirts.
Which
Probably get a shirt.
is not bad. Yeah, I'm gonna get them all.
I think I'm gonna get them all as well. It's cheaper.
I mean,
Not cheaper, but...
even if you buy them like one singly, it's a $20 shirt's really not that expensive.
Or
You have to wear it on the stream though.
Oh, I would. Yeah.
I would too,
Actually,
yeah.
I just got one of Binge's shirts in.
Nice.
I mean,
You have to
free
make that.
hosts, free T-shirts.
Oh, that's true.
It's a message.
I like the weeds on keys.
I like the Weebs on Cubes as well.
Anyways, shirts. Yep.
Shirts.
Check them out
Get
if you
your
like that
shirts.
stuff. Move along.
Moving along.
Sentraq has been up to some more stuff lately.
Yeah, yes.
Nothing terribly interesting, but he is releasing a couple more sandwich case designs. This one being a 65% with macro keys on the left. So this is really
basically a red scarf.
It's basically an RS-78, which we don't see very much of, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's an interesting design. Not really something for me. But
I'm surprised they're putting out an aluminum plate. I think it's it's from the same guy who does B-fakes. At least it looks like so.
What?
what?
I'm saying that the case looks like the somebody was selling B-fakes on Taobao, and their keyboards they look exactly the same as the case designs that Sentraq is putting out. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
I mean
I'm-
that particular design is really popular right now in the community.
Yeah.
A lot
I'm just
of people-
I'm just wondering why they do not do like a full acrylic case, because if you have like a milky acrylic top, it shines really nicely through, and you get like a full rainbow
High
keyboard.
profile acrylic case.
Uh,
That's what I like.
maybe.
Yeah,
What's
I mean
that?
it's preference. A lot of people like the aluminum because it.
What I would like to see is a 96 key layout done in these sandwich keyboard styles, because personally, like currently, I'm still a casual with a 104 key Philco, but
You're not supposed to admit that.
but in the future, I would like to switch over to a 96 key layout. But the problem is that those are very expensive. There's only like 3 or 4 really that exist, and they're all $300 or upwards or so. So
Actually, if
that
you're
would be some, yeah.
sorry, on Taobao, I've seen a couple times. They seem to sell out really fast when I see them. But I forgot what the actual name of it is. in English, it's like they call it the Welfare B96.
Yeah, something like that.
And,
Okay.
and it's I know. It's legitimately a 96 key sandwich acrylic layer with PCB for $45 US.
That's hella cheap.
It's outrageously cheap, and I'm assuming that's why I don't see them in stock very often. I see like a couple in stock every now and then, and then they're just like they just sell out instantly.
But why haven't I ever seen that on Reddit?
I don't know. I've never seen it posted on Reddit either. Someone else sent me the link, and I was like, "What the hell is this? Like, why do I not have this yet? $45?" I mean, there's like a little bit of shipping on top of that too, but it's still a very reasonable price overall for the housing plus PCB.
Mm-hmm.
So keep your eye out on Taobao for a Welfare B96. Maybe I can remember what the actual search term is.
Wasn't there like a Google Doc file with all the Taobao like findings? Or something?
Oh yeah, I do have that actually. It might be on there. Anyways, we'll go back to that later. Sentraq is also doing a 40% with an ISO layout, which is kind of interesting. So adding that to his repertoire. I don't know if there's actually a release date for any of this stuff that he's doing, but he did say it'd probably be ready in the next couple weeks in one of his Reddit posts. So, what's that? Now we have a really awkward silence.
Oh, what?
I'm
Sorry, I'm just engaged in the conversation with Living Speedbump, who's giving me advice about guitars. I was watching guitar reviews yesterday night, and now I need to share my knowledge. Sorry. It's my another hobby that accidentally intersects with keyboards people in here.
It happens. It's okay.
Anyways,
How's the pod going?
Done. I pretty much stopped to be. I'm really full. The last bite I took, actually, I got a little nauseous, so I was like, all right, I think I'm good. After once I started getting into the third quarter, like the texture is like it's really gummy. It's like the filling is literally just like plums and preserved, and so the texture is like really like gummy. And sugar. Yeah, whatever. Don't get technical.
There's more to the filling than that.
Anyways, let's move on to our last topic we have of the day. XMIT Hall Effect keyboards have been having some quality control issues. This Imager album was posted on Reddit, and this looks really bad.
It's
like
number 2 on hot right now on RMK.
Yeah, this is like really unacceptable stuff.
Oh,
especially
my god!
Look at the third picture down.
Yeah,
what
like
happened there?
That's poopy.
Exactly. Well, it looks like something that like I would do as a DIY project, and it would end up like DIY.
Why did I do this?
Yeah, like DIY.
I'm trying to think of like what needs to happen for this kind of issue.
I don't know.
Because like it looks like something exploded and like melted the case and like burned the PCB. But there's nothing there.
I mean, is this a repeated occurrence on multiple boards, or is this just one guy posting his copy?
I've seen a couple people post about QC issues, but this is the first time I've seen something like this. And I don't know. It looks like someone just like threw acid or something all over it. I'm honestly not sure.
It was the day of the acid fight at the factory.
Oh, apparently people in chat are saying it's paint. He confirmed that in the thread. Okay, so there's paint on it. Okay. Well, I guess that's...
Why can't you just use like acrylic of that color in the first place?
Because that's more expensive.
I mean, paint is one of the better alternatives for it to be, but it sucks that it's like this.
Plus, they still
like
want
this
glow
board is this board is in rough shape.
Yeah, I have 20-year-old boards that are better than that.
This board is in a really rough shape. Oh, the paint chemically messed with the acrylic, apparently.
Chemistry.
Wow. It sucks they didn't notice that in, like, their day or something.
Yeah.
But, you know, what are you going to do?
What you gonna do?
When they come for you. Anyways.
So that's all the
Q&A!
news we have. Yeah, it's Q&A
Yeah.
time. Let's Q&A. So those of you in chat, you know the drill. Feel free to shoot us questions to
Yeah,
Obotzky
if you have
or
guitar
to the rest
questions,
of us.
just
And
don't
if you have
hesitate.
guitar questions, ask Bektur. If you have pie eating contest questions, ask Quakemz.
You're getting some questions on your phone, I see.
I don't want to talk about pie anymore. If anybody has any, like, actual questions?
Well, Steven, since you're here, do you prefer pancakes or waffles?
Oh, pancakes. But
choice.
but not sweet pancakes. I've noticed that it's apparently not very common in the world. Like in America, all I see in movies and stuff is just pancakes with sweet stuff like chocolate and similar things. But in Germany, we actually like to put a meat sauce on it. I'm not quite sure. Like
Gravy?
it's similar to like a bolognese, with like beef and mushrooms and stuff. And you eat that as the main course instead of a dessert. So yeah.
Okay. Are the pancakes much thinner, or are they still pretty thick? Okay.
No, they're thinner, not those fluffy American ones.
Yeah, that seems to be a common theme on this show. We have like an international guest, and they prefer pancakes, but not the way that we actually think of pancakes.
So,
You're just weird, guys.
it's about the spirit
everybody.
of pancakes. The spirit of pancakes is international. We have American pancakes, you have Europe kind of pancakes, but they're all pancakes. And it's like,
pancakes in America are very different from pancakes everywhere else.
It's true. American pancakes are like that weird cousin compared to other pancakes.
I'm starting to want to like just eat other places' pancakes.
One of these days.
But anyways, anybody have any actual questions in chat? Lay on questions.
I saw one question. I'm gonna ask you guys because I can't answer it myself. What's your guys' favorite 60%? I'm currently I myself have no interest in smaller factor keyboards, so I don't have a favorite.
We can count to 3 and name one keyboard that we like most. 60% keyboard. Like, how about
let's do it. Let's do it.
1, 2, 3.
HHKB.
Yeah. That was
It
easy.
was a little late. But that's okay.
I even got one right here.
Yeah. Yeah, see, it's kind of a weird question because most of the 60% I use that I like are custom. Like they're not.
Yeah.
It's not actually like
Same.
a poker or like
It's
a
not
D60.
name. It's just
It's
parts
it's like
together.
It's like I have this case that I also got this plate and this PCB, and so it's like,
Hey, you got Russian caps on it.
I do.
I never bought any Russian caps even though I speak the language so dear.
I'm all about high-profile cases on my 60% and sweet key sets like 9009.
Hey, everything is in keyless. You got like.
Yep, that's HHKB layout, bro.
Oh yeah, that's true.
That's
now
what
I
it's all
see that
about.
feel. Okay.
Got the POMs. And I got
That's just the right layout. HHKB layout.
a metal cable that's made out of metal.
Oh,
Yeah, I want one of those.
And that's really cool.
how does metal cable work if you have like metal on the inside and metal
I'm
on
sure
the
there's
outside?
a layer of rubber separating them.
And what if it isn't? Can you get shocked?
Probably.
Well, then you get
It's
yours.
5-volt USB port.
Krellbit asks us thoughts on Hasu FC660C controller.
If he releases it and sells it just like he does the HHKB controller, I'll buy an FC660C again.
Yeah,
And
I was about to say, are there really like any thoughts on this besides it's good?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, The HHKB controller, Hasu's controller, is pretty popular.
Yep, got it right.
And it does a good thing. So if the 661 also does a good thing, then we're good. There's no
give people a
controversy
lot
on
more
it.
uses for the those top two insert delete keys than what they are. So
Yeah.
Uh,
Man, severe lack of questions today.
sorry, I derailed the discussion with my guitar.
Yeah, everyone's
questions.
talking
I'm
about
terribly
guitars.
I'm sorry.
on this week in
Oh
Top
my
Clack.
god.
It just, as far as I remember, Angie's main job was like audio recording stuff, so like he knows a lot about it.
If I learned anything about the anime FLCL, it's that you want a Gibson EB0, the 1961 model. Even though I know that's a bass, I know that, but I just thought that was
Wait,
funny.
Was it? I thought it was. I thought she had a Rickenbacker.
Well, she might have, but Adamisk's guitar was
really?
the Gibson, your EB0.
Oh, I don't know.
Trust me, I watched that show a lot.
Oh, Trisha has a good question. What still gets you hyped about keyboards?
That is a good question, actually.
Great question. You, J-Chan,
tough
you
question.
get me hyped about keyboards.
Yeah. Group bias from keyclack.com get me excited about keyboards. Especially when they're cool-looking sets that are priced close to $100.
Like, but not limited to, GMK Muted. Ding!
And GMK.
Cursor
We don't even
Jen is
page
asking
this
for
either.
some light on my face, so I'm just trying to go with the requests.
Okay, I was trying to figure out what you
little
were
bit
doing.
deep,
I was drawing place. But in all honesty, what does still get us excited about keyboards? Because, I mean, at least the three of us have been in the community for a while now. And I'd be lying if I said some parts of it haven't burnt me out.
Such as?
I mean, I've said it before, but like the community is like the best and the worst part of this
Yeah.
hobby, and you know sometimes it's just annoying to listen to drama and stuff. And I never really cared for like the meme side of it either. And RMK in the past couple years has gravitated really heavily towards both of those things that I dislike. So, you know, it used to be like all about keyboards, and now it's just all about like what's funny.
Yeah,
And
but I guess that's due to the community just growing and becoming
Yep.
more mainstream instead of
Yeah,
So
like this
mainstream.
enthusiast corner.
Goddamn
You
kids.
make us sound such hipsters, Brian. Like, back in our day, we just talk about keyboards and then that fun, fancy, schmancy meme stuff.
well, I mean, it's only been like a couple years, but it's I don't know. It just seems to have made such a huge change. Don't get me wrong. There's still, I mean, obviously it's still a keyboard community, but it's just a little different from how it was when I got here. I don't know. You know what kind of bores me these days that I'm kind of over is just stock like MX style switches in general. Like just Cherry MX, Scatteron,
Stock
you know,
manufacturer keyboards.
yeah. I'm just kind of, yeah. That's why I've been all about like hybrid switches lately and just like new switches hitting the market. That's why I was really excited for Pandas, because everything else just seems so like mediocre.
You know what switch I was actually surprisingly surprised about in a good way? Fosun switches.
I disagree. I
don't
am
think-
not happy with the Fosun switch.
They're not like the best clicky switch. I don't think they're horrible at all.
I think they don't feel very good. I think they sound good. I don't think they feel very good.
They feel very inconsistent though to me.
The one I have is really scratchy. So I've actually been working on somewhat of a switch tester here,
Ooh.
like an MX style switch tester, and I'm trying to just incorporate all like the. It's not really organized very well yet, but just trying to incorporate like all the Gateron switches, all the Cherry switches, stuff from like Otemu and Kale, and like Zelios and mod switches, stuff like that. And I do a Fosun on here, and it's so scratchy.
Very, very
Usually I
inconsistent.
don't.
Because no, on this board itself, I have some potions that are like amazing, and some potions that are really bad. It's really weird. Like I said, it surprised me. It did better than I thought. Because in my hand, they felt horrible. Mounted on a steel plate with these dense POM keycaps, they're not bad. And I'm using it on the thick China case while mining.
Yeah. I have yet to try them on a full board, so I can't completely judge yet. I can only judge what a single switch feels like, and to me, it does not feel that good.
It feels better. I feel like a big part of it is hidden because of like the rigidity of the plate hides a lot of its faults compared to your hand.
Yep, most definitely. Someone says they're hyped for the Hata switch.
I'm hyped for the Hata switch. It's based off science, of Hata science.
A lot of people have been kind of skeptical that it's being made by Tai Hao, who did. They're the parent company that does the Kale switches, which everybody hates on Kale switches. And I've actually been hearing that the newest revision of Kale switches are pretty good. So that's going to be something interesting to see. Hopefully, Hata's switch comes out really well. He seems very excited for it, and
he seems very excited. Yeah, that's good.
He should know more than all of us.
I'm hyped for it. I mean, it's a switch coming out from a man who knows more than Brian, Bektur, and I combined about keyboards.
By a lot.
By a lot.
You can say he is a manifestation of a keyboard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
switches.
A keyboard that turns into a human.
I need new switches because that's what's boring me a little bit in the community. I mean, I love my Lube Gateron linears now. I'm breaking in some pandas; they're fine. Zelios are a pretty nice switch. Mod switches are okay.
Personally, I need to try out the Zelios and what's really behind the meme term Philios, Zelios for your Philios. But one issue I have is I could get a switch tester, but it won't be close to representing how it would feel like on an entire keyboard. So I'm not sure how if I'm just going to blindly buy a batch and hope it works out, and or if I should go with a switch tester. I mean, alternatively, I could go to the meetup and hope that someone has some Zelios there, but yeah. I might have to just dive in and get them blindly.
I don't know how it is out there, but I know at the meetups that I've attended, Zelios have been very popular.
Yeah.
A lot of people use them in custom boards.
Very popular, very well received usually.
Yeah, I mean, Zelios are a pretty good switch. They had some issues in the earlier rounds, but they're looking and feeling quite good nowadays. So, Zeal's been doing some good work there. They are very expensive comparatively, but that's what you pay for a better experience. People in chat are saying Alps. Yeah, Alps are a lot more interesting than Cherry MX in general. But the problem is Alps are they're harder to find. You can't just buy Alp switches besides like the Matthias ones, and not that those are like awful or anything, but they're not the same really. So you could, and you can't really buy them off the shelf or anything, and you also don't have a lot of compatibility with things like key sets. That's a huge one. Either you have to use vintage caps or you have to use like the Tai Hao Alp sets or something. Now we're seeing key sets actually hit the market a little bit with light cycle DSA, but the compatibility is not really there. You often have to salvage like stabilizers and stuff. Plates and PCBs are a bit more rare than the MX counterparts. So, I mean, I love Alps, don't get me wrong, but it's not always as viable as MX.
It's also personally, I'm more interested in keycaps, so naturally I don't really care about other switches than MX compatible stuff.
Yep. Yes, that's fine. Different people like different things in the community. So, I mean, switches are just a part of it. All right. Any more questions? Maybe we should wrap up here soon.
I think it was just
Still talking about guitars.
Yeah, this is guitar talk.
Wow. All right.
On this week's episode of Top Clack, guitars.
Okay, what custom boards are you guys working on?
I'm looking what 96 keyboard I should get. Maybe Rama will do a 96. I'm hoping that will happen. But otherwise, I guess I have to go with the ZZ96. See if I can grab one on Mac Market or wait another 2 years or something. Yeah.
I'm waiting on a bunch of group buy stuff, and until then, I'm not really going to be doing a whole lot. I might be picking up a ZZ96. Might be.
How do you back?
I hope you don't.
You hope I don't, so you can have it.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I can't really justify buying much more right now, so I pretty much just need to wait for my Weavin to come in, my X60 to come in, my N65 to come in, and then the Fiel. So until then, I'm really playing the waiting game. I already spent enough money recently.
Yeah, me no keyboards for now. It just broke. Best case, it just assembles it. Took you a bit of PCB, but I still can't source all the PCB parts.
Yeah. Someone's asking me if I'm excited for the Mech Mini. Yes, I am. I think it's a neat board. I've always liked that kind of like B-face aesthetic style, like that wooden keyless layered acrylic style. I think that suits the 40% really well because it makes it light and small for like a travel board. I think it makes more sense on that size of board than larger ones, personally.
Hey, today's Rama's birthday. Happy birthday, Rama.
Happy birthday, Rama.
Happy birthday, Rama.
I remember
He told me to make a video of me saying Russian and happy birthday in Russian, so I think that would work. So Rama's днем рождения.
So we made cake and we made pie and we are eating it ourselves and not giving it to Rama.
What a show! What an
Wow.
episode.
Is Rama actually in chat?
I do not believe so.
He usually either watches or catches the VOD anyway, so I'm sure he'll hear that. Do we talk about the Bus Gamer resin case? We have not talked about that yet. I briefly saw that he was doing that. He's casting 60% cases.
Cool.
They looked kind of neat.
Kind of.
That's all I saw.
Kind of neat.
That's all.
Quakemz. What an endorsement. I see that
mean,
on like the tag of the box, the back. Turn it over. Oh, what's this? Kind of neat. Oh, it's Quakemz. You said it's kind of neat. Let's get this, honey.
Well, it looked like a low-profile case to me. Like it was like a flat, low-profile case. So, you know, that's cool that he's resin casted casings. But you know, it's something that doesn't really interest me. But it's cool if you like that kind of thing. Definitely. How old is Raba? He is not 42. He's turning 23.
56.
23. I think.
He's in his 20s. I think he's turning 23, but I could be wrong. He might be older. But he's not 42. He's not 42.
Oh, wow, what a question. We've never received this question before. How do you all come up with your names?
Have we got that question before?
Have we? I've talked to you guys about that before, but I don't know if we've ever got it on the show.
Oh, mine is really boring, actually. I don't have a really much of a backstory on mine.
Well, how? Now you got me interested. Like, what? Can you?
Me?
Yeah, like I never like I have no idea how you came up with that name.
It's really not that interesting. Like honestly, okay, so I used to play Call of Duty a lot. Like I used to actually play like Call of Duty tournaments. I was a competitive player. Back in Black Ops 2 days, which was like 2012, and that's when I got this name. And we had just won like like a quarterfinal or a semifinal match against like a fairly good team, and someone said something about like I had a pretty sick play in a search and destroy match where I clutched like a 1v3, and someone said like I came down on them like an earthquake, and I was like, what does that even mean? And I don't even remember what my name was back then. But then I changed it to Quake. I'm not sure where Quake, like the variation of Quakemz, I'm not even sure where that even came from. I started using that out of nowhere, and then that's just what I've used.
So you're not playing Quake, right?
No, I have played Quake, but my name is not derived from that game.
Ah.
Oddly enough. Although Quake is pretty fun. I'm more of an Unreal Tournament kind of guy, though.
Unreal Tournament, love that.
The 1999 version of Unreal Tournament is just like so dear to my heart. What about you guys?
Me, also, you know Warhammer 40K, right? Everybody knows it. So, in the game, the Dawn of War, the first like RTS game based on Warhammer, they had a unit called Apothecary, but for some reason they pronounced their name as Apolotary. And I misread the name, and I just used that for my nickname like 10 years ago or so, and it just got stuck to me. Because it's unique, nobody is just retarded as I am to make a mispronunciation of that name. So it's like, wherever you log in, it's like it's usually not being used, or if it's used, you're like, oh man, I've been here, I should find my old login. It's pretty convenient.
What about you?
Mine's pretty simple. I'm a man. I have interests.
Yours
together.
is pretty self-explanatory.
What do you get?
Why are you not like man of internets?
What about you, Obotzky?
It's the old family name of mine. Like it has quite a history to it. Like in World War II or something, when my grandparents on my father's side moved through Europe, they changed the name, and that's the old last name. Just keeping it alive.
Oh, right on. So you actually had like a good reason. All of us are just like words. All right.
What other
console or PC?
PC.
When I played Call of Duty, back when I played competitive Call of Duty, I played on console because that's where the Call of Duty players played. Like that was the premier platform for competitive Call of Duty. But then I got into PC gaming very shortly after and sold off all of my consoles.
Can you actually plug in keyboards nowadays into consoles? I think.
Oh, I think so. I've heard people doing that, but
I don't know.
I'd rather just play on PC.
To Cursor TN, what other interests do I have? My other interests are biking on a bicycle, biking on a motorcycle, anime,
crashing on a motorcycle,
crashing out of cars,
crashing
getting my
out of
car
it.
broken into. What's some other hobbies? That's mostly about it. Riding things with two wheels and anime and keyboards. That's mostly it.
Yeah.
I also play guitar.
I play guitar. I play video games.
Those are interests.
Yeah. For everyone, what's your favorite thing to do that's not computer related?
Me?
For everyone.
Or,
to everyone.
Oh.
Not computer related.
Play guitar?
Watch movies.
I don't have one here.
Yeah, I tend to watch a lot of anime.
Ride my motorcycle.
I actually, I do very little besides computer stuff. I work as a programmer, and at home I code away or create stuff online.
Oh. That's a lot of computer work.
Nice and Creamy asks, linear, tactile, or clicky?
Tactile.
Linear. Okay.
Linear.
Tactile.
It depends
Oh
on the
no,
switch.
we
Depends on
have
the switch.
50-50.
Depends on the switch.
Yeah, I mean, there's some linear switches I really don't like, and some tactile switches I really do like, and vice versa. So, it depends on the switch.
For me, clicky switches rank pretty up there for some of them as well. I like some good clickies.
I've used awesome switches from all three of those categories.
Yeah.
If I had to pick one, I'd probably pick linear if they're the right switch and they're lubed correctly. But they can all be good.
I got a personal question. What key set I love and will never sell? That's probably every SA set I'll get in my hands, because I'm just super in love with SA. Currently at home I have a Nantucket Selectric on
nice.
a hydro-dipped Philco. It works very nice, and I'll just keep cycling SA caps. And I did try out Granite, the DSA profile, but I'm not a fan of it, to be honest. So that's my wallet is thankful for that. So I'm sticking to SA and GMK. Yeah.
The less things you like in this community, the better.
Better.
Yeah, definitely. I'm very glad that I'm not into artisan keys. I can understand why some people like them, but I personally find like 95% of them quite ugly. Please don't shoot me. And they often don't go well with the keycaps they are on with. Like I see people post pictures of artisan keys and they don't fit the board at all. They are just putting them on there because they have them. They feel like they have to use them or something like that. So yeah, that's also something that's that my wallet is thankful for.
Someone asked, HeroX Laser asks, what was our first keyboard?
Quickfire Rapid MX Blues.
First keyboard in general or first mechanical?
I'm assuming mechanical.
Razer Black Widow.
Pretty normal first keyboard.
Normal,
Yeah, it was back in 2012. I got the Ultimate Edition, whatever, which still had the MX Blue cherry switches, and so that keyboard I could recommend to a person that's not really into the enthusiast side, because MX Blue switches are solid. Nowadays I have no idea. We see all the hate about Razer, but personally I can't really say if that's true, because I've not tried them. But yeah.
I actually,
Razer.
on my Switch tester, I have the newest versions of Razer Orange and Razer Green, which are supposed to be a brown switch and blue switch, respectively. And the Razer Green is actually very good. I think it's quite a bit better than both Cherry and Gateron clicky switches. I think the OEM is Greetech on that one, but it's not quite like a Greetech blue or green. It's very tactile, and it's the click is nice, and it's actually very smooth. It's a good switch.
I'll just probably try it out when I see one the next time I'm in an electronics store, when they have all the gamer gear laid out.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people don't know this, but the Razer switches are actually not just rebranded switches. They're actually designed to a different spec, just using that manufacturer. So it actually costs them money to design and pay for the molds and stuff. So it's not just like a Kale switch or a Greetech switch. I don't like Razer boards, their actual keyboards. I think they're pretty gaudy and not very quality, but the switches themselves, at least the newest versions, are not bad.
So a question was asked in chats I want to touch up on for all of us. I think we can, especially Brian and I and Bektur as well, can touch a lot on is what keyboard modification do we think is overrated?
Stickering.
Okay,
I think
well-
somebody was calling my door. I'll be right back.
Okay, I don't think stickering is overrated because I don't think anyone rates it highly.
That's true.
I think it's rated about where it is, which is poor.
Well, what mods are popular then?
Lube.
You have lubing. You have like
Spring
swapping
swap.
springs.
Swapping
Neither
sliders.
of which are really overrated.
Swapping sliders. Swapping housings. SIP socketing. LEDs.
I don't know. Are any of those really overrated?
Jailhouse
though?
mod.
Jailhouse mod is pretty overrated. I don't know. I've tried it and I thought it was.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that's overrated. The most overrated one.
It's pretty boring. Yeah, people are like, oh, it's like the MX version of Topre. I'm like, no, it's not. It's like not even remotely close.
Or actually, I'd probably say Gold Springs. Overrated.
Gold Springs are pretty overrated.
Because there's no difference.
Well,
in
Gold Springs can definitely be good, but
Yeah.
because they're gold, that doesn't make them good.
Exactly, that's what I was getting to, yeah.
I can't say what I think is overrated because since I'm quite new to this stuff, I haven't tried out much. But what I can say is what I think is underrated is hydro dipping the cases, because many people still get retail boards and they look quite boring, like just a blank black Philco, for example. They get nice keycaps for them, but then they just put them on a blank black keyboard, and I think that's a lot of lost potential. That's the case often doesn't complement the key sets, and it's like my hydro dip was 30 euros, and it looks quite nice. And I think more people, or very few people go into that site and try to lift the value of their case.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Hydro dipping actually used to be like outrageously popular.
Yeah.
I just don't
Okay.
see it that much anymore. Like a year ago or whatever, when like everyone was doing it, it was all over RMK. I think that's toned down quite a bit, but still fair. Hydro dipping can be pretty cool.
That's it for the questions.
I just made some ergo clears for the first time, and they're not as good as my Zelios. Am I alone here? No, it's called preference.
Yeah, it's called preference.
Some people prefer clears, some people prefer Zelios. You're not wrong either way. Yeah, I think that's about it. I don't see anything else.
So I'm gonna play the video outro now.
Oh wait, hold on. Show your Steve. Show your keyboard one more time. They wanted to see the hydro dipping.
He's posted a pic.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
my
I
bad.
posted a picture that shows it better. Like, I don't think the iPad camera can really capture
Yeah,
the
that's
texture.
fair. Cool. All right. Well, in that case, we can roll our outro.
Outro.
Awkward silence.
Why are we doing that?
Oh, because video outro. I don't know. I was just pointing at the thing for no reason. I
was
can't
just
see you
pointing at my
guys
tab.
because of the preview window. Covers up what the video
When we-
is playing.
When we roll that intro, there's music to it, so that's why we don't talk, Steve.
Ah, okay.
But that's okay. It doesn't matter.
That's okay. Well, everyone who's watched tonight, thank you so much for joining us for another episode of Top Clack. Thanks everyone for watching. Thank you, Steven, so much for joining us on this episode of Top Clack. Thanks for
Was a
walking
pleasure.
us through the process of how you thought up the keycap, how you worked with Mass Drop, and everything that went through. For everyone who enjoyed this content, we'll be back at it again every Thursday at 6 p.m. Pacific time. This weekend, we do have a time change for us Americans.
We have daylight saving time.
For whoever
coming up
else in the
for
world
Americans.
also follows daylight savings time. So feel free to check online when it will be next week, because our times will change. It'll still be 6 Pacific
It'll be 1 hour
ahead
later.
for
yeah, 1 hour.
for those who don't follow daylight savings. But
That's
don't worry
right.
about it. Just look for the posts. Same thing every week. Thank you very much so much for watching. I'm just going to talk for a few more seconds. So then when I do da and then no da and then let's